All right, Lakers fans, let's dive deep into some of the hottest rumors swirling around the NBA right now. The question on everyone's mind is, why would Charlotte even consider dealing with the Lakers again? I mean, after everything, why would they be interested in making a trade with Los Angeles? The answer is simple. It's all about business. At the end of the day, emotion takes a back seat. If a deal makes sense and benefits both sides, teams aren't going to hesitate just because of past history or hard feelings. It's strictly about winning and improving the roster. So, if Charlotte believes they're getting a fair or even favorable return, they'll pull the trigger without hesitation. Now, the tricky part comes down to what exactly Charlotte wants in return. Last time, they had their eyes on a specific player, Dalton Connect, who was considered their golden ticket. That was the key bargaining chip for the Hornets, the ace in their hand when negotiating with the Lakers. But since the draft, things have shifted a bit. The Lakers picked up Conpo, who made a splash during the Summer League, and that changes the equation. It raises the question, does Charlotte still want Dalton Connect as much as before? Maybe the trade will have to involve a third team to make the pieces fit. Then, there's the burning question of whether the Lakers are even willing to part with their first-round pick, especially if Miles Bridges is on the table. Let's talk about Bridges because, honestly, he might be the kind of player who justifies giving up a first-rounder. He's young, versatile, and skilled on both ends of the floor. He can seamlessly slide into either forward spot, which gives a team enormous flexibility. If the Lakers are thinking about trading their first pick, Bridges is exactly the kind of player you'd want in return, someone who can contribute immediately and grow with the team. Of course, there's always the possibility they're holding on to that first pick with a bigger target in mind, maybe someone like Giannis Antetokounmpo. But here's the thing. To attract a superstar like Giannis, you have to build a roster that screams championship contender. Giannis wouldn't just join a team with a weak supporting cast. He wants to win, and that means the Lakers need to create an environment where a player of his caliber feels confident about a title run. Think about it. What would make Giannis want to force his way onto the Lakers? It's not just about the name or the city. It's about the chance to win right now. If LeBron James leaves, the Lakers would need someone to step up immediately. Bringing in Bridges could fill that gap perfectly. With Bridges playing at the 4, combined with players like Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia, or maybe even Theo Maledon if he develops into that kind of contributor, the Lakers suddenly have multiple versatile wings who can guard several positions, run the floor, and add athleticism on both ends. That's the kind of roster that could lure a superstar, someone who looks at the lineup and thinks, we can win this year. It's a similar story with Nikola Jokic. For him to even consider a move like that, the Lakers would have to present a clear championship window. Jokic is a player who can sit out for a year if he doesn't see a winning path. So the Lakers must prove their ambition by assembling a strong team immediately. Adding Bridges into that mix creates a lineup with multiple scoring options and defensive versatility. A perfect match for stars like Jokic or Giannis. The Lakers have been vocal about wanting to maximize their current window with LeBron and LUKA Doncic. If they truly mean business, they need to make bold moves now. Rob Pelinka himself has talked about chasing those now moves, acquisitions that bring immediate impact. Miles Bridges fits that description perfectly. He's a guy who can drop around 20 points per game, rebound at a high level, defend multiple positions, and even knock down the occasional three. His skill set is diverse enough to upgrade the Lakers' current wing rotation, which has been a point of concern. Despite his talent, Bridges doesn't get nearly the credit he deserves. Part of the reason is that he's playing for Charlotte, a team that struggles night in and night out. When the rest of your roster is inconsistent or injured, it's tough for a player to shine on the national stage. LaMelo Ball's frequent injuries have left Bridges as the primary option much of the time, which means defense is keying on him constantly. That explains why some of his shooting numbers, especially from three-point range, have been inconsistent. When you're the focal point, hitting over 30% from deep is still respectable, considering the volume and pressure he faces. One common argument against trading for Bridges is the winning player debate. Some say he hasn't proven himself as a winner. But honestly, that's a flawed perspective. Few players come into a team already labeled as champions or winners. Think back to key Lakers acquisitions like Pau Gasol, Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Davis, or even role players like Alex Caruso and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Most of them hadn't won a championship before joining Los Angeles, but their presence was crucial in building a winning culture. LeBron James himself wasn't considered a winner until his Miami Heat days. Winning is a team effort and something built over time, not an individual label players carry before joining new squads. Miles Bridges doesn't need to be the go-to guy for the Lakers. That role will belong to LUKA Doncic. Bridges can thrive as the third or fourth option, where his scoring ability and defensive versatility will flourish without the pressure of carrying the entire offense. Imagine the difference for Bridges if he were playing alongside stars like LUKA, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, rather than being the lone bright spot on a struggling Charlotte team. It could unlock a whole new level of his game and make him a key piece in a championship pursuit. The other side of the trade discussion is what Charlotte gains by moving Bridges. Their roster is loaded with young guards and forwards, and they will soon face tough decisions about who fits their long-term plans. Brandon Miller is likely locked in as a starting wing, and they have plenty of point guards crowding the depth chart. With additions like Colin Ston coming in, the Hornets might be looking to clear some space and bring in players who fit better into their evolving system. Miles Bridges, because of his size and skill set, is more of a natural fit at the 4, but Charlotte could slot in someone like Rui Hachimura to cover that position. Rui brings similar production and could fill some of the roles Bridges currently occupies, especially on offense, though Bridges is arguably the better rebounder. If the Lakers can offer a package that includes a first-round pick, Dalton Connect, and possibly other pieces, Charlotte might be persuaded to make the move. Bridges' contract is reasonable for a player of his caliber, earning around $25 million this season, with a slight decrease next year to about $22 million. That kind of financial flexibility makes him even more appealing. At 27 years old, Bridges is young enough to be a cornerstone of a contending team for years to come. He's even younger than Andrew Wiggins, who has become a vital piece for the Warriors, and Bridges is arguably the better player right now. Looking at the numbers from last season, Bridges played and started in 64 games, logging just over 31 minutes per contest. He averaged about 17 field goal attempts per game, carrying a heavy offensive load for a team that lacked other consistent scores. His field goal percentage was 43%, which is decent given his role. His three-point shooting was a bit shaky last year at 31% on 7 attempts per game, but he has a career average closer to 34%, which is respectable for a wing. In previous seasons, he even hit around 35% from beyond the arc on similar volume, proving he could be a reliable shooter when not the primary focus. The context of his shooting struggles is important. Last season, with many Hornets injured, Bridges was often the sole offensive option. Defenses focused on him intensely, which naturally affected his efficiency. But he is capable of bouncing back, especially in a role where he is set up to succeed next to stars like LUKA, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. Two-point shooting has been strong, with Bridges shooting over 51% on about 10 attempts per game. His effective field goal percentage hovered around 50%, and he's an excellent free throw shooter at 87% on 4 attempts per game. Rebounding is another area where Bridges shines. He pulled down around 7.5 boards per game last season, up from his career average of 6. That shows his ability to contribute on the glass consistently, an asset the Lakers would appreciate given their needs. He also averaged about 4 assists, along with a steal and a block per game, demonstrating his all-around impact on the floor. Scoring just over 20 points per game, Bridges brings a level of production that would immediately upgrade the Lakers' wing rotation. If the Lakers go after a starting caliber 3-and-D wing, Bridges is the guy who fits that mold better than most. His age, athleticism, and two-way skills make him an ideal fit next to the Lakers stars. Once freed from the burden of being the primary option, his shooting percentages, especially from three-point range, should improve dramatically. Playing alongside LUKA and LeBron, who excel at creating space and facilitating offense, Bridges will have the opportunity to catch and shoot more, run off screens, and use his athleticism to attack mismatches. This potential trade scenario has a lot of moving parts, but the core idea is clear. Bridges represents a realistic upgrade for the Lakers now. He offers immediate scoring, defense, rebounding, and youth, all key ingredients for a team trying to compete for a championship, while LeBron is still at the peak of his powers. Of course, everything depends on the Lakers' willingness to part with assets and whether Charlotte is ready to shake up their roster. But the bigger picture is that the Lakers have to be bold. They've talked about seizing the moment and making a push to win while their stars are together. Miles Bridges could be a cornerstone piece of that plan, a player who brings energy, toughness, and skill in all facets of the game. If the Lakers pull the trigger, they could be sending a clear message to the league that they are serious about contending now, and they are ready to do what it takes to bring home another championship. Absolutely. Let's continue the deep dive into the unfolding drama of the Lakers' potential trade for Miles Bridges, exploring all the nuances and what it means for both franchises involved. The second part of this story dives into the potential long-term ramifications, the chemistry on the court, and the strategic moves that could ripple through the NBA landscape if this trade comes to fruition. First, we have to acknowledge that acquiring a player like Miles Bridges is more than just about the immediate upgrade. It's about how his presence reshapes the Lakers' identity. Los Angeles is a franchise built on star power, and their championship window hinges on getting the right mix around LUKA and LeBron James. Bridges fits the prototype of the modern wing, athletic, versatile, and capable of impacting the game in multiple ways. His defensive versatility allows him to guard positions 1 through 4, which is invaluable in today's switch-heavy NBA defensive schemes. On offense, his ability to attack the rim, shoot from deep when left open, and create his own shot means the Lakers won't have to rely solely on their stars to carry the load every night. That kind of balance is critical when competing against teams with multiple all-stars or high-powered offenses. However, integrating Bridges into the Lakers system will require careful attention from the coaching staff. The Lakers have struggled at times to find a consistent rhythm, partly because their roster has lacked wings who can contribute both offensively and defensively at a high level. Bridges' arrival would add that dynamic element, but it would also mean adjusting roles and minutes. Austin Reeves, for example, has carved out an important role as a playmaker and scorer, and blending Bridges' skill set with Reeves will be a crucial puzzle. The potential backcourt rotation might see Reeves and Bridges sharing time on the wing, with LUKA orchestrating the offense. Finding the right balance to maximize their collective talents without creating redundancy or friction is a coaching challenge, but also an opportunity to unlock a new dimension of the Lakers' offense. From a team culture standpoint, Bridges brings a winning mentality that the Lakers could desperately use. Despite Charlotte's struggles, Bridges has shown resilience and leadership. He's a hard worker who brings energy and intensity every night. That kind of attitude is contagious in a locker room, especially for a team that has been criticized for lack of toughness or defensive effort at times. Having a player who can set the tone defensively while still being a legitimate scoring threat changes the dynamic. Teammates feed off that, and it's something the Lakers have been missing in recent years outside of their superstars. Bridges could emerge as a vocal leader, a bridge, no pun intended, between the veterans and the younger players, pushing everyone to elevate their game. But beyond the Lakers, the ripple effects of this trade will be felt throughout the league, especially in Charlotte. The Hornets are a young and promising team, and moving a player like Bridges signals a pivot in their strategy. They would likely be aiming to collect assets that better fit their long-term vision, perhaps focusing on developing young guards or adding draft capital to build through the draft. Dalton Knecht, who was once considered the centerpiece for the Lakers, might regain prominence in Charlotte's plans, especially if paired with additional assets from the Lakers' first-round pick or other role players. That could accelerate their rebuild or reposition them as a sleeper playoff contender in the near future. There's also the financial aspect to consider. Bridges' contract is relatively team-friendly for a player of his caliber, and his deal fits well under the salary cap, allowing the Lakers flexibility to make further moves if needed. Salary cap management has been a major challenge for the Lakers in recent years, often limiting their ability to pursue big-name free agents or extend their own stars. Bringing in Bridges without mortgaging the future financially is a smart move that keeps options open for subsequent seasons. It's a strategic acquisition, blending talent with financial prudence. Speaking of future planning, the Lakers' draft picks play a pivotal role in this entire negotiation. The team's willingness to part with their first-round pick signals how much they value immediate impact over future potential. That pick could turn into a future star or be used as a trade asset in another deal. But for now, it serves as a vital piece to bring Bridges into the fold. Meanwhile, Charlotte gains the flexibility to build around their young core, either by adding draft assets or targeting specific role players who complement their style. Looking at the bigger picture, the Lakers are in a unique spot in NBA history. Few teams get to witness the twilight years of a generational talent like LeBron James, while also having a rising superstar in LUKA DONCIC. The pressure to capitalize on this window is enormous. The front office and coaching staff know that time is running out. Moves like acquiring Miles Bridges are about building a supporting cast that can keep pace with the best teams in the league, while LeBron is still playing at an elite level. It's a delicate balance, maintaining enough youth and flexibility to sustain success beyond LeBron's eventual retirement, while pushing aggressively for a title now. Chemistry on the court will be a fascinating aspect to watch. Bridges' playing style is high energy and physical, which contrasts with Luka's more finesse-driven approach but complements it well. The ability to have a strong defensive wing alongside a creative point guard and a veteran leader like LeBron can make the Lakers a nightmare matchup. Offensively, Bridges can space the floor, take pressure off LUKA and LeBron by drawing defenders, and slash to the basket for easy finishes. Defensively, his ability to switch onto guards or forwards disrupts opponent schemes and helps cover some of the Lakers' previous defensive liabilities. One intriguing question is how the Lakers might deploy Bridges in clutch moments. Both LUKA and LeBron have proven to be clutch performers, but having another reliable scorer who can create his own shot adds a new weapon. Bridges has shown flashes of stepping up in big moments for Charlotte, and in a better supporting cast, he might blossom into a consistent late-game option. His athleticism allows him to finish around the rim with authority, which can be crucial in tight games. On the flip side, this trade could impact the Lakers' bench depth. If they're investing heavily in Bridges, they might need to reconfigure their role players to maintain a balanced rotation. That could mean moving some veterans or younger players who haven't quite fit into the system. But given Bridges' versatility, he might even slide into a sixth-man role initially, giving the Lakers a potent spark off the bench, depending on matchups and lineup configurations. The coaching staff's creativity will be essential to maximize Bridges' impact. In terms of fan reaction, Bridges' arrival would likely be met with excitement. The Lakers fan base has been craving a true wing who can do it all: defend, score, and bring intensity. Bridges ticks those boxes. Social media would buzz with highlights of his dunks, blocks, and clutch shots, and his work ethic and charisma could quickly make him a fan favorite. The narrative of the missing piece finally falling into place would energize the entire organization. This trade would also send a message to the rest of the league. The Lakers would be signaling they're serious contenders, willing to move valuable assets to improve now. That kind of aggressive move could trigger other teams to adjust their strategies, whether by locking up their own stars, pursuing trades to keep pace, or preparing for a Lakers-led championship run. In a league where momentum and perception matter, the ripple effects of this deal could be significant. Of course, every trade carries risks. Bridges will need to adapt to a new environment, learn new teammates' tendencies, and handle the pressure of a big-market team with championship aspirations. The Lakers' medical staff will monitor his health closely, given the physical demands of the role he's expected to play. But if he can stay healthy and adjust quickly, the upside is enormous. Looking forward, if this trade materializes, it could reshape not only the Lakers' roster, but also the balance of power in the Western Conference. The Rockets, Warriors, Suns, and Nuggets would have to take notice. The Lakers would become a more complete team, blending star power with toughness and depth. That could elevate their chances of making deep playoff runs and competing for the championship. At the same time, Charlotte's front office would be tasked with the challenge of turning assets into long-term success. The Hornets have tantalizing young talent, and acquiring draft picks and young players could accelerate their climb. The success of this trade from Charlotte's perspective depends on their ability to develop their young core and use their new assets wisely. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, whispers are circulating in NBA circles suggesting that the Los Angeles Lakers training sessions have recently become a hotbed of tension, with reports emerging that LUKA DONCIC and Marcus Smart, two of the league's most intense competitors, engaged in a heated argument during practice. While official sources have been tight-lipped, insiders hint that the disagreement was more than a passing frustration, possibly stemming from clashing personalities and differing visions for team leadership. Observers close to the team claim that teammates noticed the sparring, which involved sharp words and visible agitation, sparking concern among coaching staff and front office executives. There are murmurs that the Lakers management, while publicly downplaying the incident, may have viewed this confrontation as a sign of deeper issues in locker room chemistry. Some analysts speculate that this could reflect broader challenges in integrating high-profile stars who are accustomed to leading their previous squads, raising questions about how quickly DONCIC and Smart can synchronize their approaches to both offense and defense. The rumor mill suggests that these disputes, though not officially confirmed, could subtly influence strategic decisions, such as rotations, play calling, and even potential trades, with the Lakers hierarchy reportedly monitoring every interaction to prevent escalation and preserve the team's long-term cohesion and performance. Sources familiar with the Lakers' internal environment are quietly suggesting that the confrontation between DONCIC and Smart may have led to disciplinary action, though the specifics remain cloaked in secrecy. It is widely rumored that both players received some form of reprimand from the Lakers' front office, possibly in the form of fines or temporary restrictions from practice activities, though nothing has been officially disclosed. The speculation is fueling chatter among fans and commentators, who are dissecting how the Lakers' management handles high-stakes personality conflicts. Some insiders believe this could be a strategic message, signaling that no individual, regardless of star power, is exempt from organizational rules, especially in a franchise under intense media scrutiny. Analysts are already theorizing about the possible ripple effects on team morale, suggesting that subtle shifts in interpersonal dynamics could affect game performance, trust on the court, and locker room leadership hierarchies. There is even talk that rival teams might attempt to exploit any perceived cracks in the Lakers' chemistry, leveraging psychological tactics or observing defensive lapses that could be tied to lingering tension. While management remains ostensibly calm, these rumors hint that internal evaluations are ongoing, with coaches and executives possibly considering adjustments to practice protocols or communication strategies to prevent future incidents from spiraling. In addition to punishment rumors, speculation abounds regarding the nature of the disagreement between DONCIC and Smart, with various commentators offering contrasting theories about the spark that ignited the clash. Some claim it might have been a disagreement over shot selection during scrimmages, suggesting that DONCIC, known for his offensive creativity, may have clashed with Smart's defensive-minded, high-intensity style, creating friction during fast-paced drills. Others theorize that subtle ego clashes could have contributed, as both players are accustomed to carrying their teams in critical moments, leading to tension when leadership roles are not clearly defined. Insider whispers imply that even minor miscommunications, such as disagreements over pick-and-roll execution or defensive rotations, could have escalated into heated exchanges, particularly in a practice setting where stakes feel immediate and personal. There is talk that this is not the first time either player has exhibited visible frustration during training, though prior instances were reportedly contained by coaching staff. The rumor mill further speculates that the Lakers might now be contemplating structured mediation or team-building interventions to avoid any long-term impact on locker room cohesion, with executives reportedly weighing whether public acknowledgement of the spat could harm or help the franchise's image among fans and media outlets. Amid these swirling rumors, speculation has intensified regarding how this incident could affect the Lakers' forthcoming season, with experts debating whether the Doncic-Smart clash might alter on-court dynamics or influence roster decisions. Some commentators suggest that repeated tension between star players, if unaddressed, could lead to modifications in playtime allocation or even influence future trade considerations, particularly if the front office perceives an ongoing risk to team unity. Others argue that such conflicts are natural among elite athletes with strong competitive instincts, and that the Lakers may simply be using the disciplinary action as a warning to reinforce professional expectations while leaving long-term strategies unchanged. Observers have also speculated that media coverage of the confrontation, even if based primarily on rumor, could subtly pressure the players to demonstrate public harmony while privately negotiating differences. Rumors further hint that this scenario might spark internal debates about leadership hierarchies, with coaching staff potentially encouraging mentorship, communication workshops, or role clarification exercises to ensure that both Doncic and Smart can coexist without friction. Analysts note that the Lakers' ability to navigate such high-profile interpersonal tension could ultimately become a storyline that defines the narrative around the team's resilience and adaptability during the season. Finally, persistent speculation centers on the broader implications for the Lakers' brand, fan perception, and league-wide narrative, as rumors of internal conflict often gain traction in the age of social media amplification. Commentators are quietly suggesting that the Doncic-Smart incident, whether fully factual or exaggerated, may influence public opinion, sponsorship relations, and fan engagement, particularly if narratives of star tension persist. Some insiders hint that rival franchises are keenly observing the Lakers' response, as perceived fractures could signal opportunities for on-court advantage or psychological leverage in future matchups. Other voices suggest that the Lakers might use the rumor-driven attention strategically, framing it as an isolated incident while emphasizing team professionalism and accountability, thereby controlling the narrative before it spirals further. Additionally, speculation is rife about whether similar interpersonal friction exists elsewhere on the roster, and if so, how the front office will address these latent issues before they impact competitive performance. Ultimately, the buzz surrounding Doncic and Smart's altercation has morphed into a story that extends beyond a single practice session, fueling ongoing debates among fans, analysts, and insiders about leadership, discipline, and the delicate balance required to harmonize elite talent within a high-profile NBA franchise. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.